This is pretty much where it happened, just here. If you just come down here, that tree there is where she was sitting when the police turned up, just here, and she ran and they chased her. There was the assault essentially happened all just here, right in front of us. How does it make you feel?
Pretty horrid now.
Yeah.
Now that we're here, it's pretty bad.
They took an oath to protect the community, to protect the people, and that's not what they did here.
God, I'm sorry, I didn't listen. Go, please. Just please go. Please go. Down.
Let him go. Let him go. Oh, fuck. Let him go. Let him go.
She was sitting in a gutter and scared.
There were security cameras everywhere, here and there. What does it say to you that they did it in front of them?
I just didn't care. They knew they were there.
She didn't even have anywhere to go.
No.
Caught on camera. Settled in secret. Who polices the police?
I was immediately concerned that the police had done the wrong thing.
She was not safe when the police were in her presence, basically.
A flawed system allowing bad cops to act with impunity.
You were arrested for something you didn't do.
Yep.
You were taken to a police station, then you were bashed. Then the cops charged you with assaulting them and resisting arrest.
Yep.
And then they lied about it.
Yeah, or tried to, because they got caught lying about it.
New South Wales Police, the oldest and the richest force in the country, responsible for policing 1 in 3 Australians. Over the last decade, it's also become the most complained about police agency. It's now the national leader in legal payouts. Last financial year, it paid out $40 million, including court costs. The same year, there were 478 civil suits filed. That's about 2 cases every working day of the year. How are you? Good to meet you. I'm Dylan. Is this your caravan?
Yeah, this is...
I've come to Casino to meet a guy called Brad Kelson and to see the caravan he's bought.
That's my dog, little Jojo.
Hello, Jojo.
Jojo. Hello. I already looked at it about 6 times before I actually bought it.
Yeah.
And then I walked in and said, I'll give you 15 grand in cash right now for it. Will you take it? And he goes, deal.
Brad Kelson doesn't usually have 15 grand to spare.
This caravan, the money you had to buy it, comes from your settlement with the government.
Yep. Yep, New South Wales Police paid for this caravan.
Come back!
Oi! Mate.
Going home anyway.
Mate.
Dickhead.
Stop there.
Stop!
Mate.
Stop! Mate, you've been asked to stop. Stand here.
What's going on?
In 2021, Brad was living in Sydney with his partner. They'd been out drinking and had stopped at a pub on their way home for dinner, but were refused entry.
What's going on?
Yeah, no, it's...
What do you want video cameras recording our conversation, your action?
Police are responding to a call about a man pushing a woman outside the pub. There are witnesses saying it was Brad.
Nothing. We're just going to get some info from those guys. What were you doing just then? You had your shirt off, carrying on the middle of the road?
Oi! You want to keep going on? Come over here,
Mate,
bro.
stop carrying on. No, you won't.
The officers try to keep him calm, but the sheer number of them is making Brad nervous.
How many coppers? 2, 4, 6, 8, nearly 10 coppers. What, for me?
All for you.
You gotta be fucking joking me.
Who's got the mask on?
Oh, fucking dead set.
Sorry,
That's
aren't we?
fucking
Gotta.
There's confusion about why they're being stopped.
So what's happening here now? What's going on?
Like all these coppers.
We're sorting that out now.
Like,
This is too much.
No, I know.
A decision's made to arrest him.
No, not yet.
Is that you? Has he been placed under arrest?
No.
He's been cautioned, but not placed under arrest.
Place him under arrest.
What
So
for?
he's not free to go because we're investigating a DV offence.
Brad's no angel. He's been in and out of custody since his teens, sometimes for violence. 3 years after this incident, he was convicted of assaulting his partner.
But that moment, that arrest, was unlawful, and it became the starting point for a cascade of errors by police.
Hayley Lee represented Brad Kelson when he sued the police.
You don't win the right that either. Here's my ID.
And Mr. Kelson was cooperating.
I'm trying to show you that, blood.
Give it to him.
He had voluntarily given them his identification in case they needed it. He told them he was on his way home.
Where's these people with their allegations?
Someone might say, well, Brad, got what was coming to him by talking to the police that way. How would you respond to that?
Look, the magistrate found that Mr. Kelson was drunk and belligerent, but that's not unlawful.
What have I done? I ain't done nothing about it.
And it certainly doesn't warrant the level of force that the officer used on Mr. Kelson.
But we did nothing wrong.
Yes, you did.
This is the police body-worn video of leading senior constable Mark Davis.
Davis, D-A-B-I-S.
He's about to do what police generally shouldn't do, escalate the situation.
Hey! Don't be a smart ass, stand in front of me. This is bad. You'll be in trouble.
Don't you tell
Oi.
me. Get him in handcuffs now.
Brad's face is slammed into a metal bench.
You want to step in front of me again, and you'll hit the dock too.
Careful, bro. Someone doing nothing.
Alright, I'm going to sit you up now.
You touched me for no reason.
Turn around.
And you wanted to go touch my missus.
Turn around. Oi, turn around.
Oh,
Sit
I
down.
was sitting down in the first place.
Let him go.
The fuck you do that? I didn't do nothing to you.
You stood up.
I don't see it. Look on your cop cams. Because next minute's going to get shattered in a minute.
It's going to get shattered, is it? All right, in the trunk. Let's go.
Brad, already subject to an unlawful arrest, is now handcuffed and thrown into a police truck.
And there's shit, bro. And there's shit, bro.
It's about to get worse.
I was handcuffed behind my back. I remember going to the counter.
The same officer who slammed Brad onto the metal bench, Mark Davis, now hurls him towards the holding cells. He then grabs him by the neck and throws him onto the cell's metal bench. Mark Davis is more than twice Brad's weight. While Brad struggles, pinned to the ground under other officers, Davis knees him 5 times. At the end of all of this, Brad is charged with assaulting police, resisting arrest, domestic violence, and given an AVO.
Make my ribs feel sore.
I'm emotional, brother, that's something bad to watch, really. Especially when I remember it the whole lot. I can't watch that, that's fucked.
In the end, Brad wasn't convicted of anything, and he received an undisclosed amount in a settlement. The assault, later labelled brutal by a district court judge, left him with 10 to 12 fractured ribs and a punctured lung. He ended up spending 4 days in intensive care.
Couldn't work, lost my job. We can't work with 12 broken ribs, can you? Or 11, punctured lung. Then I just, because I got depression anyway, I sort of got depressed a bit. Thought about some things I shouldn't have, but I did go through.
What do you mean?
I felt like everything was just like I got put in a box and the walls were just wanting to squash me, so I just wanted to end myself, really.
30 years ago, the New South Wales Police Force was mired in scandal and corruption. Some cops moonlighted as violent crooks and took bribes to allow drug dealing. The Wood Royal Commission waded into this swamp.
It exposed enormous amounts of serious systemic corruption in the police force. It led to some major reforms, including the establishment of an external oversight body.
This police watchdog, the rollout of body-worn cameras and the professionalisation of the force was supposed to bring accountability.
I think there's been a trend away from the more blatant forms of police corruption, especially bribery and protection rackets, and fabrication of evidence against suspects.
Tim Prenslow, one of Australia's foremost police integrity experts, says some bad behaviour has never gone away.
So we have significant ongoing problems with allegations of excessive force and assaults by police, for example. We don't see improvements in that area.
And on the force's own numbers, very few officers are being criminally charged for misconduct, including excessive force. Over the 5 years to 2024, there were on average about 1,000 findings of misconduct per year following internal investigations. Only 2% of those cases led to charges against an officer.
It can be argued that the lack of prosecutions of police by police is an issue. There's no denying that.
Criminologist Vince Hurley spent nearly 3 decades in the New South Wales Police Force.
There are police in there now who have never experienced or lived through a Royal Commission, so they have no fear of the consequences, some of them, of their actions. They haven't lived through being scrutinised to the nth degree by the Royal Commission or the public about their behaviour.
Police officer Mark Davis struck Brad right in front of his colleagues and the station's cameras.
Mr. Kelson's case alone, how brazen that conduct was. It was within the view of the cameras in the custody room, the body-worn footage of all his peers. It was committed in full view of his peers, and he was assured as to his position because of the culture in that organisation that there weren't going to be any consequences.
You mean other police would have lied for him?
That's what happened.
Four Corners can reveal that within days of Brad Kelson's assault, a probationary constable who witnessed the incident made a complaint. Police launched an internal investigation monitored by the police watchdog. The results of the investigation were kept secret. Meanwhile, police pursued Brad's charges.
The officers, firstly, did not disclose the body-worn footage when the brief was ordered to be served by the court.
They also failed to reveal the existence of the police station CCTV. Some officers also copied each other's statements.
The standard operating procedures within the police say that they should not share statements, and that's to avoid contamination. And you can see in the statements of 2 of the key officers involved that there's an entire paragraph that's been replicated.
About 11 p.m. Saturday,
13 November 2021,
I attended the vicinity of Main Street, Blacktown,
in response to a domestic
violence incident occurring.
The statements of those officers, one of whom was Mark Davis, include an identical spelling mistake. When Brad finally had his day in court, the magistrate threw out the charges. She found there was excessive force, clear collusion between officers, and that Officer Mark Davis had lied on the stand. In a later district court appeal, the judge said police had used false evidence to patch up their case. The New South Wales Police Force is required to report criticism like this to the Law Enforcement Conduct Commission. That didn't happen.
The case of Kelson says that there's something seriously wrong with the system, and it was never thoroughly investigated, that it was never transparent. I find it difficult to believe in 2026 that is the case. What message does that send to the public about police accountability and transparency of the organisation?
We put all of this to police. They told us their internal investigation had cleared Mark Davis and other officers of unreasonable force. Following pressure from the watchdog, they launched a second investigation. This cleared the officers of dishonesty but proved other misconduct. Police wouldn't say what that misconduct was or what action they took. So, what happened to Mark Davis? I've come to Blacktown Police Station to find out.
So I just went in and asked them if Mark Davis was there, and they said no, that he's no longer at this station, he's been moved to a different command.
We searched online and found this Instagram post. It shows the senior constable who'd kneed Brad Kelson 5 times and lied in court, giving a talk to students at a Penrith high school about bullying. It says he's the local youth liaison officer.
Makes me angry, but I can't say it don't make me angry, man, because it does. He shouldn't have his job, mate, I'm telling you. After that, man, how can that still be going on in the police force?
Brad's case exposed a failure of accountability. What this next case suggests is something even darker. Officers acting as if they had nothing to fear.
That's a photo of Jodi. Just tell me what she was like.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. She was a gorgeous person. Carefree, spirited, crazy woman. Loud, funny. No harm in her at all. No harm in her body. And love for family.
Nicole Allen and Cherie Castagna are cousins. They grew up in a large extended family, spending long summers with other cousins, including the irrepressible Jodi Knott.
She would take off, she would go, she would live her life to its fullest. Even with all her trauma and her mental health, she was still a happy person.
She was mentally ill from a very young age, but it just got worse, obviously, as she got older, and then substances and addictions. It's pretty hard. But there wasn't Jodi. She was just a lost little soul that just needed help now and then.
Jodi was brutally assaulted by 2 police officers 3 years ago.
It's as sickening as it is shocking. A mentally ill woman in a psychotic episode brutally assaulted by the same people meant to protect her.
This is the first time Jodi's been named. For years, the body-worn footage of her assault sat on a shelf, unseen. Four Corners has obtained it, and Nicole and Cherie are the first members of the public to watch it.
It won't work. The body-worn video is recording, just to let you know that.
That's all right, it's good.
But I'm not going to shoot you like you just kept telling
Police are called after a report of a woman sitting naked on a Western Sydney street.
What's your name? You didn't even tell us your name. If you don't tell us, we'll just work it out at the hospital, but it'll be easier if you tell us now.
When the 2 plainclothes officers arrive, Jodi's sitting calmly under a tree. They tell her an ambulance will take her to hospital.
Oh, the ambos are here now, so... telling you now that you'll be going to Nepean Hospital and you'll be sectioned under Section 22 of the mental health.
Okay. That ambulance is... Oh, here they are. They can't take me. They can't take me. You can't physically take me.
Jodi lives with schizophrenia and is experiencing a psychotic episode. She stopped taking her medication. This had previously been managed by a good friend, but he'd recently died.
I'm terrified of you people. Go away. But there's nothing you can do.
Okay.
You can't physically beat me. Fuck off.
You're not going in.
I'm going anywhere I want.
Over almost 15 minutes, a sickening and brutal attack on Jodi unfolds.
I need a taser.
Get the taser then.
Go on, wash your cunt, wash your ass.
Throat clear and...
Go on, wash it out.
The officers empty their cans of pepper spray on Jodi, on her face at close range. even on her genitals. At times, they laugh.
Go, please. Just please go. Please go.
They kick her in the head. They stomp on her. One drags her by her hair.
All right. Hey, guys, I'll get in there. Dave,
No, I don't try. No.
Yeah,
Absolutely not. No. Let him go. Let him go. Oh, fuck. Let him go. Let him go. Oh. Fuck's sake. Let him go. Up for your knees.
Yeah. Fuck me. I don't want to do it at the front. Just fucking
You can get one. Get one. Yep.
Oh.
That was horrendous. I need a break. That was just fucked up. That was so bad. She just wanted fucking help, Tom. She just wanted help. She just wanted fucking someone to help her.
It's worse.
It's worse than what I thought. She just wanted help. She was floored, I don't know, gutted, disgusted. Very angry. Very angry.
It's disgusting.
It's horrendous. Can't.
You just couldn't imagine what she went through.
She was in a psychosis episode, and that's why they were called out there.
The officers charged Jodi with assaulting police and resisting arrest. Over the next day, one of the officers sends a string of messages to a colleague.
Both OC cans emptied on her. The whole body worn is so good. Shows her being fucked. Nurses are lodging a complaint. We caved her.
He also sent them some of the body-worn vision. It was after this that police launched an investigation. At the time, a deputy commissioner said it was one of the worst things he'd seen in his 40 years in the force.
Do you think those officers were concerned about the consequences of their actions?
No, absolutely not. The fact that they shared the body cam footage, they had no fear of consequences. Once they started, there was no stopping them. They had no care whatsoever.
18 months after the assault, Jodi Knott died of cancer. The two officers, Nathan Black and Timothy Trouch, pleaded guilty to common assault. Black received 3 years and 3 months non-parole. Trouch received 3 years. Black told the court a lack of training, a high pace of operations and a toxic workplace culture contributed to their actions.
They didn't care that there was cameras around or that their body cam footage was on. That says to me that there is a significant cultural issue within the police department that this type of behaviour is okay, and it shouldn't be.
During this investigation, we've examined hundreds of cases of alleged police misconduct that are on the public record. But there are many more that remain unexamined. Trapped in the police internal investigation system, most misconduct complaints never become public.
Thousands of complaints come in against police every year. What happens to them? There are some cases on the record where officers are named, but generally speaking, we don't know the outcomes of cases, whether an officer was disciplined, whether they were subject to some sort of remediation program, whether there was an apology. That information is not on the public record.
The impact of police investigations of police misconduct is woefully inadequate.
Peter O'Brien has launched hundreds of cases against police for alleged assault and misconduct.
A court might find a serious misconduct has happened in the same instance. The complaint process has exonerated the police misbehaviour.
The police run at least 1,500 misconduct investigations a year. By comparison, the Law Enforcement Conduct Commission, the independent watchdog designed to keep police in line, runs roughly 70.
In a state like New South Wales, a large state, if our agency was to be the sole body dealing with all complaints against police, you would need to have a very large number of investigators.
Former Supreme Court Judge Peter Johnson heads up the agency.
You would have to have an enormous budget to have a separate body that dealt with all complaints against police. So we have a type of hybrid model in a way, and I think that's reasonably effective in the circumstances.
The head of the Law Enforcement Conduct Commission has said police investigating police in the main is appropriate. That's how it should work.
It's not best practice. No. And my question would be, well, what is the evidence of effectiveness? I'm not aware of any, and all the evidence that I can see points to the contrary.
The Law Enforcement Conduct Commission can recommend changes, but the police are under no obligation to implement them. One area where police have ignored the watchdog is on the use of body-worn cameras. In New South Wales, unlike in most other states, it's not mandatory for officers to use their cameras when exercising police powers.
Body-worn video is critical. It is the friend of the honest and ethical police officer, potential enemy of the officer who is doing the wrong thing. It should be mandatory.
The police watchdog has spent 3 years calling for the force to make body-worn video use compulsory. So far, the police haven't acted. What's clear from the vision we've obtained is that some officers are leaning on the lack of hard rules. In the case of Jodi Knott, one of the officers at times mutes his body-worn camera. The other officer either didn't have one or didn't turn it on. None of that is against New South Wales police rules. What is against police rules is throwing your camera away. That's what happened in a case that was investigated by the Law Enforcement Conduct Commission. I've come to meet the victim in that case. He was 15 years old when he was arrested after police responded to a report of teenagers fighting. We can't identify him for legal reasons.
I dropped down to the ground, put my hands up, and then the girl officer, she cuffed me. She put my hands behind my back. And the boy cop come up to me, picked me up, she led me onto the ground, started bleeding into my back. He picked me up again, walked me a few feet away, punched my face, knocked me back down.
The officer who assaulted the teen then disposed of his camera.
How did he dispose of it?
He threw it into a body of water.
The officer then told 5 colleagues that he'd assaulted a kid and thrown his body-worn away to hide what he'd done. Only one reported it months later. Sometimes accountability needs a cop to stand up the moment something happens.
I come from a police family. My old man was in the cops for 36 years, and that was obviously all through the 80s. He had some great stories that he'd repeatedly tell me. And
I've come to the New South Wales Central Coast to meet Kurt Hayward, a former detective who spent 23 years in the force.
when it actually happens.
This is a rare interview. Over 3 decades of reporting on police, I've almost never found a cop willing to break the wall of silence about allegations of misconduct.
There it is, the old building up there with the police checkers out the front and the mirrored glass.
In 2020, Kurt found himself at the centre of a high-profile case.
Here's Starling, away again. Tom Starling gets his...
It had been a stellar year for 22-year-old Canberra Raiders hooker Tom Starling. until he was involved in a violent incident with police at a bar on the New South Wales Central Coast.
Starling seen here tumbling down the stairs. You're obviously injured. What happened? Were you involved in the brawl?
So you're in that cell, 6 in the morning. What's going through your head?
It was a pretty dark place, to be honest with you, mate. It was just confused. I didn't know what was going on. I was scared, to be honest with you.
Tom Starling was charged with assaulting police and resisting arrest. He was also accused of taking hold of a detective's gun.
Since you're a little kid, you're told the police are there to look after you, and if you're in trouble, call the police. And when it's the police putting you in that position, you don't know where to turn to.
Kurt Haywood was the detective tasked with working up a brief against the footballer. From the moment he took on the case, he believed it was his fellow officers who were in the wrong.
I knew that it was going to cause a storm because NRL player, blatant police violence.
One of the first things Kurt did was watch CCTV from the bar.
I read the report and the charge sheet that was associated with the footage and saw a classic case of overcharging and trying to justify their actions by overcharging and saying things that just didn't happen.
That's Tom Starling in the red circle, being dragged out and punched by a riot squad sergeant. He's knocked out. Then a local officer throws a few more. Kurt Haywood decided he had to report what he saw as police misconduct to his boss.
I went to the crime manager and expressed my concerns with what's happening, and we're watching the footage together, and I'm saying, there he is, punching an unconscious man 3 times. And I said it a few times in the conversation. And the crime manager said, oh, you keep saying that. I see a man who's resisting arrest, not a police officer punching another man, an unconscious man.
Kurt says he was told the head of his entire command, the superintendent, thought police had done nothing wrong. And if he disagreed, he'd have to go all the way to the top.
I was in my office pondering for a little while about the situation and thought, all right, I'll write the career suicide note and report to the Commissioner.
Essentially, your view was you were doing the right thing, you were reporting a clear case of misconduct, and you thought by doing that you were probably going to end your career.
Yeah.
Kurt's complaint was a pivotal moment. It led to an internal investigation, and the 2 officers who punched Tom Starling were charged. All this came at a cost for Kurt. Disillusioned, he quit the cops 18 months later.
I didn't want to work for those people. If they've got that stance and they agree that those actions are justifiable and right, then that's not who I want to work for.
There was also a cost for Tom Starling.
It was hard to, I guess, show up sometimes and put that brave face on and pretend like it wasn't affecting me, but it 100% was. It just, as I said, I was a young kid trying to live out my dream, and I used to go to games and just think, everyone used to think, oh, there's that thug Tom Starling that, assaulted police officers.
And it's not over yet. It took 2 years and a 12-day trial for all the charges against him to be dismissed. The trial of the 2 officers who punched him is due to start next week, more than 5 years after the incident. They're pleading not guilty. Starling's planning to sue the police, but that won't even begin until the criminal case is resolved.
It's hard because they're the ones that are supposed to be protecting you. Like, it's who do you go to complain about them?
It's a rare case that sees officers charged. More often, the consequences are unclear.
I seen that officer and I looked back and he waved and laughed at me. Yeah, he made a comment, and there was a security guard there, and I said, see that officer there, he terribly assaulted me.
Samantha Testalamuta is a proud Wiradjuri woman from Sydney's south. She lives with bipolar disorder. She's been involved in a years-long dispute with neighbours that's seen police repeatedly called.
So you're just out here listening to music and then suddenly you hear the banging on...
Very loud banging, very scary banging.
And then you realise, well, they're telling you it's the police.
Yes, it's the police. Open up. What time is it? I looked at my phone, it was eight after 8.
In January last year, police were called because Samantha was playing her music loudly. At the time, she was experiencing a manic episode. The incident was recorded on her mobile phone and home security camera.
It's only 8:30 at night.
I can hear it from 4 hours.
Yes, it does. 8:30.
No,
It's 8:30, darling, so hooroo. On your way.
So, I'm
On
giving
your
you a
way.
noise abatement correction.
On your way.
Okay. I'm giving you an official noise abatement correction. Get stuck!
I'm being hurt! Help me, Mum! Help me with legs! Someone legal Aboriginal leg!
Give me your arm!
Oh!
Stop resisting!
Oh! Why are you doing
Dog,
this to
get
me?
back! Dog, get back! Dog, get back! Dog, fucking give me your arm!
The junior officer, who has less than a year on the job, threatens to taser her.
Help!
I'm not paying you!
Help!
Stop resisting!
Help! Help!
Put your hands behind your back!
They're hurting me really bad! He's assaulting me! He's assaulting me!
Over the course of 2 minutes, the officers punch Samantha repeatedly while she's face down on the ground.
Call me an ambulance!
Stop! Stop fucking resisting!
He's on camera, come and watch him!
He was putting knees into my ribs and punching me down from the back. It was very scary, just the amount of force that was put in with the fists. I couldn't believe it.
Samantha was taken to the police station. The officers intended to charge her with assaulting police, but the arrest was discontinued. Hayley Sharnock is Samantha's NDIS support coordinator.
What do you think, what's the change been in her, like, when you look at pre and post that incident?
There was a massive decline. She was going quite well. She'd have ups and downs, but after the police assault, she had a massive decline in her mental health and was scheduled for about 2 to 3 months under the Mental Health Act.
So, like, forcibly detained?
That's right.
Within weeks?
Yeah, I think it was about 6 weeks.
I'd lost my balance and
A year after the incident, with her mental health spiralling, Samantha ended up in jail on remand over a series of AVOs.
A whole bunch of things.
There was a whole massive ripple effect in terms of the impact on the family that the assault have, and I think that's what these officers don't realise.
Police told Four Corners they'd investigated and taken appropriate action against the 2 officers. More than a year later, they're still working at Samantha's local police station.
I don't understand the police force when police do the wrong thing. How does the superintendents or the ones in charge deal with those matters? Like, should they not send them to another area or, yeah.
Why is it a problem for you that they're still in this area?
Because it's traumatic. If someone decides to call the police and he rocks up here and decides to have to hurt me again.
There was no need for any sort of physical contact. There was certainly no need for police to have entered or attempted to enter her home, and there was certainly never a need for her to be forcibly and physically dealt with in the manner in which she was. So this is a noise complaint after all.
Peter O'Brien is helping Samantha in her fight for compensation. But even he acknowledges that settlements allow police to avoid accountability.
Whilst the plaintiff might get compensated for what happened adequately, the flip side is that what is actually happening out there can go largely unspoken and unknown. And but if it's and the possibility of repeat or recidivist police officers conducting themselves badly, poorly, or unlawfully, or brutality is an ongoing problem that can be perpetuated by that system. Yes.
Have you come across that?
Yes, there's certainly instances where we've seen the same police officers again and again being named in statements of claim that have been taken against the state.
Policing is difficult and dangerous work. Every day, police respond to situations involving violence and mental illness. Most do so with care. But this investigation is about what happens when officers abuse their power and whether the system is strong enough to hold them to account.
Four Corners asked New South Wales Police for an interview. They declined. In a statement, police told us they're reviewing the rules around body-worn video and that they have clear requirements that make it mandatory for officers to report misconduct.
It's a brave person who sues the police. You have to have a very strong case.
Some people in this program have or will receive compensation. But that's not accountability. And for many of them, it's not true justice.
If police turned up here right now, what would be your concern?
Oh, my heart would just start pumping. My blood pressure would be going up. Yeah, very scared.
Yeah, it's something that's always going to be there. You still Google my name, it's still there. The video's there, and the initial headlines or everything is still there. It's not they never go away. Just the fallout of it all.
And we hope that this gives her voice.
Her voice, her face, and rest at peace.
Correct.
Yeah, it gives her a name to Australia. This was our cousin. We're proud and we loved her to death. Always have and always will. She had a face, she had a name, and it was Jodi, our beloved cousin.
If this program has raised any concerns for you, you can contact one of the following services.